since America has announced the intention to do limited ground operations against Iran. So there are reports that 5,000 Marines and 2,000 airborne troops, they are coming into the theater, and the theater already has something like 50 or 60,000 American troops. So we are looking at a total of 70,000 American troops, which include the Marines and the airborne troops. Then there are global experts who say, they are respected people who say that without ground operation, a war cannot be won. Air campaign alone will not win the war. Well, they have a point. But the issue is that this theater is very different. This is a theater, Iran, where Iranians have an asymmetrical warfare strategy on which they have worked on decades. And in the present multipolar world, they are supported by two great powers, Russia and China. So the point that I will make in my video is that a ground operation, whether limited or massive ground operation, whatever its complexion, it will be a complete disaster for America. That if America enters phase two with the ground operation, it will be a humiliating defeat for America because large number of body bags, they will go home. So in this video, what I'll do is explain Iran's asymmetrical war strategy, totally backed by Russia and China, their capabilities, something that we have already seen in the first month of war. And then the viewers can decide for themselves why I come to the conclusion that a ground operation will be a humiliating defeat for America. Now, as far as phase one is concerned, phase one was about Iran taking complete control of the Strait of Hormuz, which it has. And the importance of Strait of Hormuz, everybody understands now, so I need not talk about it. Now, I will talk about three elements, big elements of Iran's asymmetrical strategy. The first element is decentralization of command. So here in Iran, they do not have unity of command, they have unity of effort with coordination. What that means is that there is no single commander who's commanding all the Iranian forces inside Iran. Instead, what they have is regional commanders, many of them who know exactly what their task is, but they also interact with their neighboring regional commanders as well as the center. This is called unity of effort. And this unity of effort is also applicable in the region to the Iranian allies, allies like Houthi, Hezbollah, militia in Iraq and Syria. They all follow this unity of effort with coordination. And the reason why Iran chose this approach, unity of effort with coordination, is because it has been studying the Israelis' thinking and their war strategy for a long time. Israel believes that if you do the target killings of the top leaders, you eliminate them, then you eliminate the command, you eliminate the unity of command. And in the case of Iran, they believe that Iran would then no longer remain a sovereign country because it has too many religious and ethnic differences, fault line, and it will disintegrate as a nation, which of course will not happen. So based on the Israeli thinking, how the way they think, Iranians came up with this strategy and it worked very well when the war started on February 28th. That is the time when the Americans and the Israelis, they killed the top leadership of Iran, and the response was immediate and proportionate. There was no delay at all. It was possible because of the unity of effort with coordination. So this strategy is well suited for Iran. Now, the second element of their strategy is that they have thought long and hard that in case America fights with Iran, then there is a need to identify the correct center of gravity of war. Center of gravity means the American vulnerability that the Iranians need to hit. And they decided, and they were right, in two center of gravities. The main center of gravity is the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran controls today. And the second center of gravity are the American bases in the GCC nations. Now, I want to explain in some details about what exactly is the military capability today in the Strait of Hormuz that Iran has put over years. Now, we know that Strait of Hormuz is about Persian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf of Oman. So we are looking at a stretch of 1000 kilometers plus. Here, as far as the Persian Gulf is concerned, the waters are shallow. We are looking at some 200 meters depth. So here the Iranians, over a period of time, they have built underground tunnels, and in the tunnels, they have a lot of capabilities like standard mines, smart mines, midget submarines, then fast crafts, and they have anti-ship cruise missiles that can be launched from underground, from undersea. All these capabilities are there. And what they also have is a commanding headquarters, which is what is called the Central Defense Command Headquarters, specifically meant for the Strait of Hormuz. And here, what they have is mobile radars, and they have a lot of these smart sensors lined up all along the 1000 square kilometers. They are keeping an eye on this, and they are hardened against seed operations or seed missions of American and Israeli fighters. Seed is suppression of air defense missions. Now, this is in addition to the Beidou 3 satellite constellation, which is available to the Iranians of the Chinese, about which I'll talk in a while. So, as far as the Strait of Hormuz is concerned, in addition to that Beidou 3, what they have is a central defense command headquarters, as I said, and they have all these capabilities in the undersea tunnels, underground tunnels. Not only that, what the Iranians have done over a period of time is that on the mainland, and Iran is a big country, big landmass, so they have built underground facilities. There are missile cities, all the war capabilities are underground. And there, what they have is, as I said, unity of effort. There are regional commanders, and in each region, what they have is specialized electronic warfare and cyber defense headquarters. Now, here they have the capability to electronic identify or to have the electronic identification signatures of the enemy forces wherever they are in the theater, as well as the American bases in the theater. So, when we talk of American bases, let's say in Saudi Arabia, what sort of aircraft are there? What is everything is known, or the identification is there for the Iranians. So the point I'm making is that Iran has total visibility, it has complete knowledge of what is there in the theater. Now, then the third element comes that all right, they have the knowledge where things are. Then how do they hit that with accuracy, with precision? This is the third element of their strategy, asymmetrical strategy, where they chose to have missile and drone dominance in the area, something that they have achieved. As I said, that they have underground missile cities, and they have underground production capabilities for various type of missiles as well as for drones. So they have the capability to fight a long war, and they have the capability of war surge also, that they can produce things as they are fighting. Then they have certain advanced missiles that America does not have. For example, America does not have hypersonic cruise missiles, hypersonic glide vehicles. It doesn't have all those things. Something that the Russians have and the Chinese have, and they have shared with the Iranians. So when the Iranians talk about advanced missile, for example, one of their senior commanders said that during the holy month of Ramzan, they had only exhausted their defensive missiles. He was referring to the old missiles which were used first, to see that the interceptors with Israel and with the US bases in the theater, they get exhausted. So now they are saying that after the month of Ramzan, they'll be using the offensive missiles. Obviously, the reference is to the hypersonic cruise missiles, which have three distinctive characteristics. Now, these missiles operate in near space. Near space is the altitude of 20 kilometers up till 100 kilometers. Beyond that is space. So they are there in this space, near space. Second, they do not have a fixed trajectory which can be tracked. They have a variable trajectory. Then they have very high speeds. We are talking about speeds of more than 5 Mach. Mach is the speed of sound, and the terminal speed could be as much as Mach 20. Now they are unstoppable.